Hi Vijay, how are you?
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, Vijay, am I audible?
Yeah. Yes, sir, audible.
Yeah. So how are you, Vijay?
Yes, sir, I'm good. What about you?
Good. Thank you. So can you tell us
Yeah.
something about yourself?
Yes, sir, myself Vijay, and I have 2+ of years experience in manual and automation testing. And
Mm-hmm.
currently, I'm working as one of the startup company in Bangalore. And
Mm-hmm.
coming to my roles and responsibilities are there. Uh, First, I will go to that for writing the test cases. First, I will analyze the requirements, and then I will write the test cases and according to that steps what we are mentioned in test cases, following that steps to ensure that the accepted result is uh, and accepted result and actual results are matching or not. And
Mm-hmm.
again we will check the requirement is properly working or not according to the customer requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we can, if any bugs are there, I will raise the bugs. And coming to automation part, I will write the test cases and using Selenium with Java and with the combination of a TestNG framework. And these are the my roles and responsibilities.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you are using Java, core Java in your automation framework.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So can you tell me the difference between array and array list?
Uh, array is the comes under array. We can store the data in key value pair means it will be uh, single dimensional or
Mm,
multi-dimensional arrays. And
mm,
comes to array list is the it comes to um, in interface. It is extension of list interface, and array list it will stores the value in duplicates value. It will not store the duplicate array
mm,
list. It will store the duplicate values, and insertion order it will be the unorder. It will not insert the one by one. It will
mm,
unorder type of inserting will be there in array list.
mm. Okay. What else?
Array list it comes under mm, a list interface, and we can mm, yes, right now I'm recalling.
Okay. No worries. So even if you don't know the answer of the question, that is totally fine. This is a mock interview. So I'll be giving the
Yes.
answer. So see the difference between array and array list. So you have to mention about these three key differences in your real-time interview. So first
Okay.
important difference is size should be given at the time of array declaration. So whenever you declare an array in core Java, you have to declare the size of that array. While in case of array list, the size is not required because it changes the size dynamically.
Dynamic. Okay.
Array is not parameterized, whereas array list in Java 5.0 are parameterized. Okay. Now, if you
Okay.
want to put an object in array, then you need to specify the index. The syntax is like name
Index.
of
Right.
one
Right.
equal to book. And in this, you don't
Yes.
need any index, name dot add book itself. So this is the so these are the primary differences that you have to tell in a real-time interview between the array and array list. So this is again very important core Java interview question that you can expect in your interview. Okay. Now, do you know about try catch block?
Yes, sir. I know.
Hmm. So when do we use this try catch block?
Mainly try catch block we are using to in the type of exception handling. In the
Absolutely. Yeah, correct. Right?
in try catch in a try
Hmm.
we can in try block we can mention the what type of exception we need to handle the
Hmm.
exception. In
Hmm.
try block we can write the functionality or we can write the code, and
Hmm.
in catch we can mention the particular exception if we If you analyze that particular exception we have to face, and in catch block we can mention that exception name, accurate exception name, or else we can mention the normal exception.
Correct, correct. Now, is it necessary that each try block must be followed by a catch block?
So at least one catch block it should be necessary.
Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
Actually, multiple try blocks and single catch block, it will be execution flow for a try and catch.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let this be an open question for the people who are watching this video. Is it necessary that each try block must be followed by a catch block? So you can answer your this question in the comment section of the video itself, right? So now the answer is it is not necessary that each catch, that you have catch block after each try block in Java, because you can also create combination with finally block, right? Finally is the
Yes, sir.
block which runs despite the fact that the exception is thrown or not, right? So finally is
Yes.
something that will run. So again, this is an important interview question. Finally, what are those keywords in Java, right? Okay, now what will happen if you put system.exit 0 on the try or catch block?
System.exit 0.
Exit 0, yeah. So if you want, I can share my screen. Just give me a second so that you are able to understand this question. Okay, let me share my screen.
Sure.
Is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir. Visible.
So what will happen
Yes.
if you put system.exit 0 on the try or catch block? Will finally block execute there? This is again question related to try catch only.
System.exit 0. Sir, actually, this system.exit 0, when we put into try, and it will comes out that block, sir, and it will comes out and finally block will execute.
Finally block. Okay, okay. So I'll tell you what would happen during this time. Okay. So this is the answer. So see, what does system.exit will do? So here you can pass any integer. Okay. So what would system.exit will do? It has the chance to give you security exception. Okay. So exception will be thrown, but then finally block will be executed, because as we discussed in the previous question, finally block has a capability that is getting
Okay.
executed, right? So finally block will be executed, and then if you call system.exit 0, right?
Yes.
Right. So system.exit 0, what does that mean? So system.exit 0 is nothing but it is something that has got the capability to throw security exception, right? So
Okay.
if you are using this system.exit 0, then also it might block the finally block as well. And then the finally block will not be executed in only this case, but in other cases, it would be executed finally block.
Okay. Got it. Got it.
Okay. So this was one question about this. Okay, what is the difference between this and super keyword in Java?
Super keyword we can use to invoke the immediately parent class objects,
Mm-hmm.
and this keyword we can use the initialize the variables in same class.
Okay. Any other difference that you are able to recall?
For super keyword, we can mention currently I'm recalling these
Mm-hmm.
things.
Okay, no worries. So, if you get this question in a real-time interview, what is the difference between this and super? So, share my screen real quick. Yeah. Now, is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. So, you were correct in the first point. It represents the current instance of the class. That is this keyword. Then what does
Yeah.
super does? It represents the current instance of the parent class.
Okay.
So here it will point to the current class instance. Here it will point
Yes.
to the super class instance.
Super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Then it will call the default constructor of the same class. It will call the default constructor of the base class. Then in
Base.
this case, it will access the methods also of the same class. And in that case, everything with respect to parent or super class, right?
Yes.
And here with respect to current class, that is this. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Now, what would be the output of this Java program? Would you get some output? Would you get some error?
Sir, here static, it is not in Java. We are not able to write
Mm-hmm.
this
Right,
static.
right. So what would be the
And
output?
we get the output. Mm, some Excel according to this program, we get
You can take your time to think. There's no hurry.
no, sir. I'm not getting it correct exception name.
Okay. No worries. So let me tell you the answer of this program, right? Okay, right. So can you identify which is super class here, right? And that has been overridden, right? So you will get a compile time
Yes.
error here. You have multiple methods that are static methods, right? And finally,
Yes.
you are overriding one of the method,
Okay. Just
right?
declaring
So
this.
you are trying
Yes.
to override a method of a superclass itself, right? So you
Yeah.
will get a
Okay.
compiler time error here.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay. So now let's move to the next question. Okay. What is multitasking in Java?
Multitasking. No, sir, I'm not getting.
Okay. So multitasking in Java, it refers to a program's capacity to carry out several tasks at once. So you might would have heard about threads in Java, right?
Yes,
So
yes,
threads can do such kind of several tasks or at a time, or you can say multitasking. They can do within a single program itself. Now executing numerous things like this at once, it is known as multitasking. Okay. Um, what is the default value of byte data type in Java?
0 to 127. But
Yeah, so default value is zero.
yes, sir, 0.
Yeah, it is zero. Okay. Okay. Can you explain what is public static void main string arguments? Why do we write like that?
Public, that is a that main method we are mentioning in Java. We are mentioning that main method. Public means we can that method we can access everywhere without the package, or outside the package we can access that public. And the
Right.
static means we can mention the static as a um, that method name. Method it should be access that method name. We can indicate that static. And void we can mention as a method indicator void. And within the parameter we can pass in the um, string value. String we can pass the in a double quotation we can pass
Mm,
the string value. And if any arguments are there in parentheses we can pass the arguments.
right, right. Okay, okay. So this is fine. Apart from this, you can also add certain more points into your answer. Okay. So now is my screen visible?
Yes, sir, yes.
Hmm? So what is public? So public is nothing but it's an access modifier. So
Yes,
why do we have to make it public? So in an interview, in a Java interview, they might ask you this question: why do you have to make it public? Why not private or protected or default? So you have to make it public because JVM can invoke it from outside the class, right? So
yes.
it is responsible for making the main function globally. That is why we are making it as public. What is static?
Public.
So static is nothing but it's a keyword, right? You want to initiate the class without creating its any of, you know, uh, I mean, you have to use this particular element without initiating the class, right? So that's
Yes.
why we
Oh,
use it static. Void is, as you had mentioned, that the method does not return anything. So that is void. Main
yes.
represents the function that is declared as a main function itself. So JVM will be able to identify the function itself. And string arguments, so it is nothing but it's an array, something that you have to pass as a parameters or arguments. So it's an array of type java.lang.string class. So this is the importance of all these things: public, static, void, main, string, arguments. Okay, now public is one of the access modifier. Which are the other access modifiers that you are aware about?
Public, private, and protected.
Mhm. So what is protected?
Yeah. Protected, it should be, if you mention the protected as a uh, access modifier in a
Mm,
class, and we cannot it will be accessed only within the class. We cannot uh, access the that class or variables outside the class or outside the package.
okay.
Within that class, we can access that.
So that
We
is
can create a
protected or that is default?
okay. That is default. Protected, we cannot access those variables, sir. Variables, we cannot access those variables within the class or without outside the class. We cannot access those variables or methods.
Okay. And what is private?
A private, if you mention private as a private access modifier in method, and we, we can access within the class, but we cannot access outside the package. Within that the package we can access.
Mhm. Okay. And what is default?
In Java, we can if you didn't mention any access modifier, by default it will take a default access modifier for that
Mhm.
particular method, and it will be access um, everywhere of the project or every within that package. Within that package, we can access everywhere.
So that is default or that is private. Private, sorry.
Defaults.
Default?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let me show you something. Maybe then you would be able to answer it. Hmm. So you were telling about visibility. So let me help you with some diagram on that. Hmm.
Okay.
Okay. So what I have done is I have put the pointers on the left side, whether those are visible in the same class or visible in the same package, or those are visible in the subclass in the same package, subclass outside the same package, non-subclass outside the same package. So these are the different points on the basis of which we can differentiate. Now default. So default, yes, same class, again, public, protected, private, everything is good. But if you see here, if it's a private, right, then in the same package it will not be there. But yes, if it's default, public or protected, then it would be visible in the same package as well, right? Again, if you say public, so yeah, everything is possible with the public. But with a default access specifier, you have subclass outside the same package over there, it will not be visible. Then you have non-subclass outside the same package over there, it will not be accessible, or you can say visible, right? Private has got more stringent parameters,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes. Only within
So
the same class we can access.
yeah. So that's how you can tell. Okay. Now I want you to write a Java program. So I'm giving you screen sharing rights, and you can open IDE, Eclipse or IntelliJ, whichever you are comfortable with. And you have to take two strings and you have to compare them. So one string is Vijay and another string is Vijay testing. Okay, so string one is Vijay, string two is Vijay testing. So you have to compare both of these strings and tell whether they are same or not.
Sure.
Right? Two strings you have to take.
Yes. Sir, actually, we are using the equals ignorance case
Right.
method.
So you will be using equal,
Okay.
or you can use equal ignore case. So let's first use equal,
Yes.
and then we'll use equal ignore case. So if you use equal, then you will not find str and str1 to be same, right? And then in str1 you take Vijay in all uppercase letters, right? So equal string and equal ignore case, these two things you have to use in the program. Yeah. So write that public static void main string arguments. In that you can use, yeah, public static void main. Right. And now here you can write str dot. Are you getting that? Equal ignore or something?
No, sir. Actually, the methods it is not showing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, no worries. So let me show you how you can write. So let me share my screen. Yeah, now is my screen visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, see, str1 is hello. And here we have put everything in the lowercase letters. In str2, everything we have put in the uppercase letters. Now, what I'll do is I'll be putting str1 dot equal ignore case str2, right?
Okay.
And the output will come as true because we are doing ignore case. If we don't write ignore case, then it will give output as false. So it is given output in the form of Boolean terms, either true or false. Then the second println I am writing str1, my
Yes, sir.
str1 dot equals ignore case my str3, right? So that will always be false because both the strings are different. The content is different, right? So that's how you can compare the two strings, equal ignore
Sir,
case and with equal
actually
as
in my ID that names
well. Hmm.
methods are not displayed.
Okay, okay. No worries, no worries. So in a real-time interview, be ready with IntelliJ or Eclipse, whichever thing that you are comfortable with, because you may be asked to write any kind of programs, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, Vijay, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Actually, I'm searching the job outside, but
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. So these
right
days,
now I'm
yeah. So let me stop this record.